Hi guys, so this film is called Feelings and Emotions During Taking Lithium. So while I'm on lithium. And I have just spoken about that a bit near the end of the film, that I've just spoken to feelings and emotions while taking olanzapine. So if you're interested in listening to the end of that one, there's some interesting points in there. But I thought I'd go a little bit deeper and talk about other aspects relating to that in this one. So just like a general overview quickly is that feelings, emotions I felt were still, now that I'm not on any psychiatric medication, I can see that there's a difference between taking lithium and how that felt, and now that I'm not on it, with my feelings and emotions and sensations within my body, I have a much more completely open, connected, free access to all of that inside of me now. Whereas on lithium, some of that was kind of taken away. So I'd say, if you think about it in percentages, olanzapine was like probably, 98% of feelings and emotions was like blocked and taken away from me. Lithium was maybe more than 50% I felt was of reduction of being able to be in contact with that and in touch with that. And so now I'm on 100% noticing and sensations and all that now that I'm not on it. So you can see there's still that kind of, on lithium, that not being able to kind of totally understand what's going on the inside. What is that feeling? I'm not so sure. What is that motion? I don't really know. There'd be times when I remember I'd be like quiet for 2 days because I just didn't kind of, I couldn't talk with my husband about it because I didn't understand it inside of me, and so he might pose me some questions, but I didn't really know the answer, because I couldn't, nothing really made very much sense on the inside because I didn't understand myself. I couldn't connect with what those feelings and emotions were because I didn't have access to them. I couldn't dive in to kind of pick at it and ask it questions and say, well, what is that? I couldn't. It wasn't available to me. But on the other hand, I was still on lithium, but so at the beginning I was a bit more kind of a higher level of medication. My milligrams were kind of higher per day, and then I dropped down by 100 or 200 milligrams, and that was much better on a much lower dose, and I was more connected with emotions and feelings. And so I got to a place like a couple of years ago where I was having some physical therapy, and it kind of opened things up a bit for me, and I was able to release stuff and cry and get rid of things more. So that really, really helped, and I think that was like the start of the process of regeneration, is just kind of letting go of some of that rubbish that was, that I was feeding off and dealing with on a day-to-day basis, or that was just kind of there in the background, and so things started coming up where, there were times when I had these really, really intense pains, like in my heart region, that was based on something that I'd been holding on to in my past. And I'm not going to go into I'm not going to tell you my life story, but that these aspects of learning about yourself are the most difficult, I would say, out of everything. Coming off a medication and those kind of side effects is really intense and difficult, but it's nothing compared to what you have to go through emotionally and mentally within yourself to kind of move forward and find a new voice, find a new language, find a new relationship with your internal self, and you have to go inside and you have to deal with those things that are really painful and really difficult and really intense. And sometimes you're just like, I don't know if I can do this anymore because this emotional pain is so intense. What am I going to do with it? How can I deal with this? But I would say that you have to be patient. You have to keep chipping away and scratching at the surface to go deeper, and you have to find it within yourself to kind of keep going back to that place, keep diving in, so that you keep finding new layers of that pain, or that frustration, or that anger, or that thing that's really difficult, um, and or that situation that you can't handle, but you have to keep going back to it. You have to find a new way forward, so that you learn about yourself, and you know, okay, this might happen again in the future, it might be different, or there might be other challenges that come up that might kind of relate to this thing that you're dealing with now. But you can kind of navigate your way through it in a way that doesn't add on the pain, that doesn't pile up the intensity, that doesn't make it again more difficult again in the future. So you're kind of peeling away all the rubbish, so your pile of rubbish is less huge, and that you can kind of, instead of, you know, always feeling like you've got a mountain to climb,